Hey, what's up? It's Matt in Japan. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're taking a look at from Transformers the movie. This is Studio Series 86 Dinobot Swoop. So let's take a quick look at the packaging here. So you have Transformers the movie on the top, Transformers the movie. There is Swoop inside the packaging there. And you have the Generations logo, Transformers on the side. You have an image of Swoop in his Swoop mode. 86 Studio Series Dinobot Swoop. On the side, he is a leader class figure. There you see picture of Swoop's noggin there, 86. On the bottom, product info. On the side, you see the Authentics logo. Again, a picture of Swoop swooping. And on the back is where we see our product images. So big screen inspired, scale, detailed backdrop. The backdrop is the Battle of Autobot City. We've seen that one a million times, backdrop included. He converts in 21 steps from his robot mode to his Dino mode. And Swoop and the Dinobots drop in to destroy Devastator. So yeah, can't wait to get this guy cracked open and have him with his other Dinobot friends. So yeah, without further ado, let's crack open Swoop, see what he's all about. Here we have 86 Studio Series Swoop out of the box and onto the backdrop. But before we get into his details, let's take a quick look at the accessories he comes with. He does come with two swords, one of them being a sword that is sculpted after his G1 sword, which is very nice, done in just a red plastic. And I really love these, I prefer this sword as opposed to, who was it? I think it was Snarl's sword, where it had that real bendy plastic that was just awful. I have no idea why they did that. Anyways, he gets some really nice sculpted detail there. And again, just done in that really nice hard red plastic. And he can just hold that like so very easily, like that. And then the other sword he does come with, which is another very similar sword done in that same hard red plastic. Now this is meant for Grimlock, and we'll show that off later. But yeah, it's very nice that they included another sword for Grimlock. I just wish they had, included all the swords for all the Dinobots, but can't complain. So anyways, that is the sword for Grimlock. And then he does come with his two iconic missile launchers here, or rocket launchers, which are done in a sort of gray plastic, and then it has the gold tips on there. I do wish they were they weren't so hollow here, but I do understand that in order to fit on his wings, they do have to sort of have a flat part right there. But anyways, this is done in a red plastic with some just gold paint on the top, and then there's a little bit of black on the tip there, and those just kind of plug in like so. But so yeah, some really nice detail on the rocket launchers. And one very cool thing you can do is you can take off this part, plug in a blast effect. So if you want to put in like a blast effect like right there, and then put the tip in like that, it has the, gives the effect that he's actually like shooting the rocket out. So very, very cool. A lot of playability with that. So just taking that off and putting the rocket back like that. And then, of course, you can, there are ports on his wings that you can have them go on like that. And you can put them up or down. I kind of like them up like so. So you can arm him up in robot mode like that. Now there are some ports on the side of his arms as well as on the back. And there is weapon storage for the swords as well. So you can just take his sword and put it on the back. Or you can take that sword and put it on the back. So there's weapon storage for all the weapons. So that's about it for Swoop's accessories. Let's get into the details of his robot mode. Okay, getting in close on Swoop's robot mode details. First of all, we got to take a look at that noggin. I think they did a real bang-up job on that head sculpt. Very, very nice. You get some silver paint for the face. You get the blue eyes. You get that nice high red crest there, all done in just the red plastic. So very, very nice. And then the main part on his body is just the bird, or the Dino mode, whatever you call it. The Dino mode beak there down his chest. Again, most of the torso and waist is done in a blue plastic. It's got some really nice sculpted detail there. Get a little bit of red inside there as well. And then all over the place, some just beautiful sculpted detail. We see more in Dynamo, but yeah, some really nice detail on his arms. His arms are done in a gray plastic, and there are his fists there. And then going down his legs, you see some nice gold highlights on his upper thighs, and where his Dino mode feet are like that. And then you do see some nice black plastic on the feet and the shins there to kind of break up all the gray. And then you do have some nice red paint, some nice sculpted detail on the side like that. And then he does have blue heel spurs, which I thought were, I'm not sure why they did that, but it's fine. And then, there's a little bit of hollow parts, but that is mostly for transformation. That's how he looks from the back. A lot of ports for weapon storage and such. But yeah, for the most part, I think he looks really, really good. This robot mode turned out really, really nice. So anyways, that's about it for robot mode. Let's get into Swoop's articulation. All right, like all the other Dinobots, Swoop is highly articulated. Some really nice posability going on here. First of all, the head can move up that far, can go down that far. It does have a little bit of side to side. It can go all the way around like so. So you get some nice posability on the head. It does have some wiggle waggle there, so very cool. Now his arms do go up like that. They can hinge out a little bit over 90 degrees like that. And if you put the wing out of the way, it can go all the way around like that. He does have an upper bicep swivel. He does have about 90 degrees at the elbow. He does have a wrist rotation, which is very nice. And all the joints on Swoop are very, very tight. So some very nice articulation there. Again, the wings are on these little hinges, so you can put them back or you can put them like that if you want. He does have a full waist rotation, and it does get hindered by the beak part here a little bit. I mean, it's enough, I think, to pose him. You can actually unhinge that, and you can get a little bit more rotation, but that is just put on, it's just clipped on like that. So you can, if you want a little bit more waist rotation, you can sort of unclip the beak there. Now he can do the full splits like so. And again, the joints are just super tight. And again, moving that back, he does have backwards kick like that. He can kick up about 90 degrees there. He has a 90 degree, a little bit more actually because of transformation, of very deep knee bend there. And he does have an upper thigh swivel there. Again, all these joints are super tight, which is really great. And then, of course, we have the ankle rocker joint, very deep ankle rocker joint like that. Nothing, actually, there is some movement at the toe, again, for transformation. You can move the heel spurs as well. So, yeah, just like the other Dinobots, Swoop is very, very highly articulated and can be posed very, very nicely. So, anyways, yeah, before we get this guy transformed, let's do some other Dinobot comparisons. Here is 86 Studio Series Swoop alongside the king himself, Grimlock, and Swoop next to 86 Studio Series Sludge. Next up we have Studio Series A6 Slug, and last but not least, A6 Studio Series Snarl. And for an itty bitty size comparison, here is Studio Series A6 Swoop alongside the Core Class Swoop. Very, very cute. Out of all the Studio Series 86 Dinobots, Swoop is definitely the easiest to transform, so let's get right into it. First thing we want to do is fold up his hands. You'll notice a cavity inside his forearm, so the hands will just fold up like that. Same thing on the other side, fold up the hands into the cavity like so. Next thing you want to do is turn our attention to the back of the arm, where we'll see a slot and a tab, and then on the back of the wing we'll see a tab and a slot. So you want to take those sort of opposite connections and you want to attach the wing to the back of the arm. Next thing, do the same thing on the other side. Again, opposite tab slot connections, tabbing the back of the arm to the wings. Next thing we want to do is turn our attention to the head, and there is a clip right here. This comes undone, folds down like that. Now, one thing that sort of concerns me about this figure is this clip right here. What you're going to do is take the head, and then it's going to go down into the sort of dino head, and then this part will actually clip over this part. But once you get it clipped in like that, it's a very, very tight connection, very, very secure. Going back into robot mode, it's hard to get your fingernail in that little crack and undo it. I've actually had to use a little thin flathead screwdriver, and that really concerns me. I hate to do that on figures, but that's a very tight connection, so really, please be careful if you get this figure. Next you want to do is kind of take the chest and kind of split it like that, and that'll allow you to put the head up like so. Just gonna take that head and just get it out of the way for now. Next thing you want to do is take these and just sort of hinge them out. Actually, I actually want to hinge them back in. So these are gonna fold in on each other, and then they're going to connect in the middle. So you're gonna want to just kind of push these together, and then you do see a tab slot connection on either side, and then you're going to take these chests and just sort of compress it like that. Now this can be a little bit tricky because there's not a lot of there's not a lot of place to sort of hold on to. But once you get that tapped in, it will snap into place, and you kind of have to push on the side of the arms to get that tapped in. It's a pretty secure connection, but you do see a little bit of a gap right there. And at this point, I always kind of recheck the connections to the back of the arms, because sometimes those come undone. Looks like they are connected for the most part. So that is that part. Next thing we're going to do is turn around Swoop, and we're going to take a look at the wings. We can't fold up the legs yet until we do the wings. So these are tabbed in, so you're going to take the wing part and then untab it like that. There is a hinge right here, and you want to make this flat so it's level. So you want to just kind of pull that out and just make sure that it's flat like that. Now the end of the wing is going to fold out, and there's going to be a tab slot connection right under the not Dinobot, the Autobot logo like that, and that's going to clip right in like that. Same thing on the other side. Undo the end part of the wing like so. Fold that out. Make sure this is sort of flush like that, getting that nice and flush, and then taking this wing, and there's a tab slot connection again under the Autobot logo there. Snapping that into place. So there we have his wings all extended. Next thing you want to do is go to the feet. We're going to fold down the heel spurs, and then the whole part of the leg is just going to fold up into that cavity. Fold down the heel spurs, put the feet into the back of there, and then just make sure those legs are sort of straightened out. Now what's going to happen is we're going to fold the feet, and there's going to be two tabs right here and right here, and there are slots right here and right here. So you can basically just do this one by one. This can be a little bit tricky as well. You want to make sure they're folded, and then they kind of land right where that tab slot connection is, and then that will tab into place like that. Same thing on the other side. So just folding that up, making sure it kind of lands right there, and that will slot in like so. So very nice connection. At this point, you can take, depending if you want sort of flight mode or standing up mode, these little feet can come down, or you can put them up. I like to just keep them up for flight mode. And last thing you want to do is just take this part. There's a little tab right there. You want to just fold that down, and then that will allow the sort of neck to go inside that cavity, and then you can kind of straighten out his head like so. So there you have Swoop in his Dino mode. One last thing, the instructions do tell you to sort of angle these up. So there are tiny little sort of hinges right in there, so they kind of, you can see it go in and out. So it says to just sort of angle those up for a sort of nice angle like that. And then at this point, you can take your rocket launchers. Now you can leave these in during transformation, but I know myself when I'm transforming figures, I don't like things kind of falling off and getting all over the place. So I like to just put these on afterwards. So you can just tab those in like that, and I like to sort of just open his mouth like that. And there we have Swoop all transformed into his really cool looking Dino mode. Let's take a look at Swoop's Dino details, and just like all the other Dinobots in this set, they are just laden with sculpted detail. So some really nice detail and some sculpt work, some nice paint. Speaking of paint, that gold paint on the head is just absolutely beautiful. I think it's so nice. I love the gold motif that goes throughout the Dinobots. It just makes it more, unified to have all that sort of gold highlight. So anyways, very, very cool. You get the Autobot logo stamped on the top there. You get the blue eyes. You get the red crest there. Some very nice detail there. And then going down, the sculpt work on the wings, just some really intricate robotic detail there. Very, very nice. I really like how those came out. And then on the underside as well, again, they didn't really have to go there, but they did. Some really nice sculpted detail underneath there. And then on the back here, you do get some sculpt work here that we saw in his legs, with some black, almost like looks like sort of missile launchers there on his legs there. And then you get some really nice red paint with some nice detail there. And then you have his little gold feetsies there. And then again, some really nice gold paint on his lower sort of lower shins, I guess. So for the most part, yeah, just some really nice sculpted detail all the way around. And again, like I said, it just makes them look more like a team with all the same sort of elements of the gold and the sculpt work. Now he is in flight mode right now, so to turn him into sort of the more vertical way, you can just turn his head up like that, and then just take his feet and fold them out like that, and then you have him just kind of standing up like so. I definitely like the flight mode better, because this way, as he's standing, you do see a lot of the robot mode kibble. You can pretty much tell this is all robot mode kibble under here. So at least when you have it in flight mode, you don't really see that as much. So anyways, but you can, turn his head, turn his neck down like that, and then stand him up like so. So speaking of moving parts in Dino mode here, so he does have that neck rotation, so he can go all the way up, he can go all the way down, and then his mouth does open, and then even inside his mouth, you get some really nice detail. Again, they didn't have to sculpt the inside of the mouth, but they did. And he is Blast Effect compatible. I think the only Dinobot that wasn't was, I think it was Snarl, because of the way his head split down the middle, which is too bad. But yeah, Swoop does have some Blast Effect capabilities. So neck can go up, mouth can open and close, and then the wings are on hinges, so you can hinge these up or down however you like. But anyways, yeah, that is the details for Swoop's Dino mode. Let's get a group shot of the Dinobots all together. So getting all 5 Dinobots in the shot is taking up most of my workspace here, but I finally configured a way to sort of get them all in the shot. So from left to right we have Snarl, and then we have Sludge and Swoop on top of Sludge, Grimlock, and Slug. So very, very cool. Yeah, this is such a cohesive set. I mean, having all 5 Dinobots in this scale is just really awesome, and every single one of them, they did a real bang up job with them. So yeah, anyways, let's get Swoop transformed back into his robot mode, and I'll give you my final thoughts. Okay, so for my final thoughts on Studio Series A6 Dinobot Swoop, this guy is awesome. He was everything I expected and more. And I just love that each Dinobot is so different, but they all have that sort of similar thread that kind of ties them together. You know, really, really nice paint, that gold paint, and the intricate sculpted detail out of all the Dinobots really ties them and makes it one cohesive team. So yeah, very, very happy to finally have all the Studio Series A6 Dinobots in one place, and they look absolutely amazing together. So my only real complaint about Swoop is that part I showed you on the chest there with the clip where the head transforms. Really, really got to be careful with that. Other than that, a bang up figure and just a really awesome figure to complete the set. Definitely worth the wait. Anyways, this has been Matt in Japan. Thanks for watching. This has been the video review for Studio Series 86 Leader Class Dinobot Swoop. Thanks for watching, guys. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell for more great content. And as always, till all are one.